Whitney Belkowitz, President and CEO of Intelligent Concrete, and today we are talking a little bit more about CCRL. I know we're kind of covering a lot with them right now, but our inspection, I believe, is coming up. You know, I had a dream the other day that I called them to find out when our inspection was going to be, and they're like, oh, you don't have one for 2 years. I was like, dude, freaking awesome. I was so happy. Anyways, I'm sure that is not going to happen, but it was a lovely dream. Anyway, so today I'm going to be talking about kind of how you handle dings when you get them. So what happens when they come in is they usually, at least for us, we always like to start with the office stuff. So we've got a little more time to get the lab set up. And when they do the review of the paperwork, which we covered in the last video, you've got some time for corrections because they're still here. So you can do corrections, like what they'll do once they go through like your office portion of things, your paperwork side of things, they'll give you a list of the errors and the things that you need to correct. What I always try to do is crank out as many of those while they're here, because I feel like they're pretty quick to approve stuff, and then you just get that immediate feedback too. You know, the issue is when you're submitting stuff online, if you don't get it done after they leave, then it's this whole back and forth. Like, you submit the corrections, it can take up to 2 weeks for them to review it and then get back with you. And then if you have questions, you have to email them and wait for that response or call them. But it's a much longer process. So as many corrections as you can get cranked out while they are on site, I mean, definitely the better. So that's the route we go. It's the paperwork and office side first. And then while she's hanging out in the lab, watching the guys do their thing, I like take stuff down. Okay, here, is this what you're looking for? No, it's not. This is what you need to add or whatever. So it's a lot easier to get those corrections made, get that crap crossed off your list. I don't think you can really fail, which wouldn't be a great business model for them anyways, because if they fail you, you probably wouldn't even try again. They're always going to, I think, provide some level of, and they even say that too. They're like, well, it's not a pass-fail. It's just these are the things you can improve on, which is so obnoxious. Give you your list. You kind of work through that. If you get a certain amount of errors or less, you'll only be evaluated every, I think, 4 years instead of every 2 years. But I don't think anybody ever gets that, because then they would lose how many customers, or at least have that significantly lower recurring revenue stream. So I just don't think that ever happens. Like, and the crappy thing is too, it totally depends on the person if they're going to like mark something or not. I mean, obviously there's clear like violations where they're gonna have to cross it off, but honestly, I think it depends on who is doing your inspection and kind of their mood that day. Totally serious, because there are some things that are okay with one that are not okay with another. Like, it's really inconsistent, which I think is one of the things that's so frustrating for me too, because it's just, I feel like kind of the luck of the draw. So what happens, you know, once they leave, they'll send out a final report to you. They've got all their stuff on their website, and then you have all these corrections that you need to make. And I believe it used to be 90 days you had to make them. Now I believe it's only 60. And if you don't get it all remedied in that 60 days, they'll give you another 30 days after that, I believe, to do your final. And then I think if you don't get it there, they actually have to come back out and re-inspect at the lab. And then you have to pay for that off-cycle cost. So, anyways, yeah, they've got quite the business model. That's kind of the process. And it kind of changes each time. It used to be 90 and 90. Now I think it's 60 and 30. But yeah, they'll be coming back out this year, so we can certainly update you on the timelines after they come out. Yeah, it's, we all complain about it, but John believes in accreditation, and there are some things that I do appreciate that they cause you to do. So I think it's just that kind of double checking an organization, and not necessarily so they can pat you on the back and say good job, but I think it's more creating your checks and balances for your lab. And if you try to approach it from that aspect, I think it can really make you that much more of efficient lab and that much more organized. So anyways, thank you so much. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and put them in the links below. Like, subscribe, ding that bell for notifications. Go concrete, beat asphalt.